Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about the string format method. In the past video, I think I mentioned f-strings is my favorite when dealing with strings, but I did want to highlight a couple of scenarios where format might come to the rescue. So with that being said, let me get started. Let's come up with a couple variables here, like first name and last name. Now we know with Python, to be Pythonic, we want to do first underscore name and last underscore name. That makes it snake case, like this. We don't want anything like this that we do when we do Java and other languages. So just keep that in mind. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to print these, and by printing, I'm going to take a string and say, my name is something like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass in, I'm going to use dot notation to invoke the format method, and then I'm going to pass in the first name and the last name. And if I run this, what happens is I'm going to see that my name is Michael Jordan is printed, and what's happening here is I have a string. Every string has, it's an object, right? So it has a format method, so we can use dot notation to invoke the format method and then pass it two parameters, and based on the positions of the curly braces, first name, it's going to be the first curly brace, the second curly brace is going to be the second parameter here, and that gets us to our values. Now a better rule of thumb to using format maybe is to pass in the key. So for example, we can use a key value pair. So for first name, we can say, for first name, pass in first name, and for last name, pass in last name. And what'll happen is they'll get us the same thing. Oops. Oh, what we have to do here, sorry, is we're going to say first name, and here we're going to say last name. Sorry about that. And here last name, and then we'll know exactly what's being printed, right? The good thing about this is that you don't have to worry about what did you pass first and what did you pass second. So, for example, here you can do something like this, and regardless of what you passed first, my editor's just doing this. You know, these lines, they're being modified on save, autosave. So what I want to show you is that when we save, we still get the same thing. So you don't have to worry about the order of this if you get these messed up, because you're passing in the key value, and here you're basically being explicit, and we know that's a good thing to do in programming. We want to be explicit and call out what are the variable names. So we don't want to leave it like this. In other words, why? Because I probably should have showed this earlier, but if you leave it like this, what happens is you could easily make a mistake. And that mistake could be something along the line like this. Maybe you pass in the last name first and then the first name, but you didn't want to do that. Well, that will create a bug, Jordan Michael. And what you wanted to do was kind of inverse this. Well, you'll never run into this problem again if you have if you're passing the key. So that's why I recommend passing the key value pairs to format instead of doing this. Hope this makes sense.